Hi, I'm here today with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 overgrips that I've tested over the last couple of months, and I just want to give you my 2 cents on all of these because it does matter a little bit, especially if you are really particular about your racket. So let's get into it, and I'll also replace my overgrip right here on my Nox racket because I've been using the pedal play here and I just want to remove it. I also didn't like the overgrip on there. You get overgrip with it to attach like this extra attachment here that can analyze your play, but it's just very, very thick and very squishy, so I didn't really like that, and that's also why I get into these other ones here as well. So that's the perfect way to explain these. Now, one here is the head hydrosorb, of hydrosorb. So I've got a couple of heads. The hydrosorb here. I've got the head Prestige Pro, and I've got the head Extreme Soft. So those are a little bit of a different type of feel, and what I really like about the head packages is that you get a little sample there. So if you're going to the store, you can just feel that if that's for you. Although I do feel you can get a better feel if you grab it, so like so, and then rub over that, so you can actually feel what it's like if you're gripping it, if you're holding it. So those are the different ones. The head Prestige Pro, I think is very durable. It feels really sturdy here, and it has a nice tackiness to it, not too much if you're not into that. But the head hydrosorb, I haven't played with it for that long, so I don't know exactly how much this helps with sweat absorption and then the durability of it. But I do really like the tackiness. I think this is one of the most tacky, most grippy grips that are out there, and I really like that on my racket. So I'm one of those players who likes that tackiness on there. And then I also have the head Extreme Soft here, which is perforated, so you get a couple of these holes in there, and this is also pretty tacky, one of the most tacky ones that I've tested here. And then a couple of those holes that can help with grip and sweat as well. Then I have a Wilson here, which also has a cool package with like a little sample, and you can already see this is a perforated one as well, if you look at that. And this has a lot more perforation. And I think this is really thin, so this is really more for an overgrip and not to just put one on your racket. So just put a grip tape on your racket, and then you can put this over, which helps with sweat. And this is really, really tacky. So, and I think also with a lot of these holes, a lot more than with the head Extreme Soft. For example, if you look at that, a lot more holes. I think that also helps. Perhaps I can show you a little bit better. Get into the camera there. So those are the differences. This also helps with grip a little bit more. So if you really want a grippy racket, I think as an overgrip, this Wilson perforated, this is the Feel Overgrip Pro perforated. I think this is a really good option for you because it really helps with those, well, with your hand there. Of course, almost all of these, I think, are for tennis rackets and paddle rackets. There aren't that many brands that do paddle rackets specifically. I don't think it matters that much, although the trend with paddle rackets has been to go even smaller and smaller size, thinner and thinner grips as well, play goes on here. So maybe that's a little bit different for tennis rackets there as well. And then, of course, you can choose for colors. It doesn't really matter for the grip, although some say that the grip with whites is a lot better than with colors. I don't know if that's true. I just think if you look at this, you feel a little bit more like it's synthetic, a little more synthetic feel to it because it's just so bright and orange. So I think that's more a case for that. These are the Gamma Supremes, tacky and absorbent. This is also very tacky. Not as much as the hydrosorb. I think this is the tackiest. I think this one has the best grip with the holes, but this is also pretty tacky, and this held on my racket pretty well. So that's also a very nice one, and they do come in a lot of colors. And then I have the Babolat, and this is the Pro Tour 2.0, and this is more of a eco-friendly packaging. So I think that's a nice way to go as well. Go for that eco-friendly packaging. With all of the others, it's plastic. It's It's just a little cardboard and then plastic, although the head packages are very nice to open. Just push them out. So that's easy to open. Just really put some thought into the packaging as well. But this is, looks more eco-friendly. And then you have this Babylon one, which is, I think, more like a middle ground. This is supposed to be the comfort grip. It's not that tacky. So if you want that amazing tackiness and really grip that racket, which not all players like, then this is, I think, a good choice and a safe choice. Nothing too special going on with the Babolat, but like I said, a safe choice. And then I also have the Wilson Comfort Overgrip. And as you can see here from the packaging, this is with some structure to it. So I really wanted to test one with structure as well, and you also get these in different colors. But as you can see, that pattern, it also gives you a lot of grip. So that isn't the most tacky, this one. It's actually quite slippery, but because of this all this material and what is structure in it, it also has a very nice grip. It takes a little more getting used to, I thought, than the other ones. And again, I've only tested these for a couple of matches, so I don't know if it would help me get used to it a little more if I played with this longer. But having something textured like this, it's just a little bit different. I tended to have my arms, of my hands, my fingers, into those grooves. So not exactly the way I wanted to hold my racket, but more getting into the grooves to get more grip. And then I think it defeats the purpose. So these aren't my favorite, but I can understand if that textured thing is more for you. I would go for the Wilson Pro Perforated though, because of the holes. Then you also get like kind of like that textured feel, but not with like these big grooves that you're. Well, it really depends on how you hold the racket, how much grip you get. So that's not really for me. And then I also have the Tourna pedal Mega Tack. So this is specifically for pedal. As you can see, I think it's the same material that they have for their other things, their other tacks. But this is like the Mega Tack, and this is also very, very tacky. And it's on par, I think, with the head Hydrosorb. They also did the packaging a little bit differently. This is just one giant roll, whereas the other sets have like 3 in one package, and this is just 3 overgrips on one roll. So that's a little bit of a different way of packaging it, but it's not that this is really, really thick. It's not thicker than others. As you can see when I roll that off, it's not thicker than the others. It's just that's packaged differently, so don't be fooled by that packaging. And I think my favorite to play with is the head Hydrosorb. That's because I like that tackiness, but I can't see myself, if I didn't want really thin handles, just putting on grip tape, a very basic one, and then putting this Wilson Pro Perforated on it, just to get that perforated feel. I used to play with these Adidas, I don't know, we call them Adidas in the Netherlands, the Adidas rackets, and they also had that perforated tape, and I used to really like that. I didn't really like the Adidas racket for other things. I really love my Nox racket right now, but I really do miss sometimes that perforated handle. So that was pretty great. So I hope this video has helped you make a choice between all of these. And let's now put one on there. So if you're going to put like a new grip tape on, Nox racket has all these different grips that are on there to assist with like your hand feel. So we have to pull those off beforehand. So let's take those off. Okay, so those are off, and then you have like your little overgrip tape thing over the top. So let's take that off as well. You can put that back on at the end, just to keep everything in place. And then you have your grip tape here, of course. Remove the top part. Okay, so that is gone, and then you can unwind the rest. Like as I said, I think this grip tape is pretty thick. It's the one that came with the pedal play, so it might not be the best quality. That's why I just wanted to replace that. Let's get it all the way off, and then you have just your bare racket handle. Okay, And then here is the pedal play sensor, which is also pretty cool. I'm also doing a video about that, just a sensor, so you can see what stats you can get. So check out that video as well. Let's put that away. Then you have your bare handle right here, where you can put your grip tape on. So I think I'm going to do the head hydrosorb again. So you always get that little piece of tape that's also part of the grip tape. So keep that. That's usually what they use to hold the grip tape together. And then you have your whole roll of grip tape. So that's the whole thing. And you start with the small piece right here. And if you have, this one doesn't have that, but a lot of the brands have like this plastic on them, so don't forget to remove that first before you start rolling on, because well, if you keep that on, you don't really have the benefit of the grip tape itself, the tackiness that it has. So here you can also see the Hydrosorb logo right on there. So there's also a little bit of grippiness and tackiness in the thing itself. And then we can start rolling this down and rolling that onto the racket. Now with tennis racket grip tapes, they're usually a little bit longer than those for specifically for paddle rackets, because the handle is just a little bit longer. So that doesn't matter, you can just use scissors and cut off the last part. And you start here on your racket, and it's the same for paddle as it is for tennis rackets. Move that across and over the handle and just really get that in there. Now depending on your preference, you can put some layers on top of that. So you can go really granular and really overlap a lot between the layers. But I like it a little thinner. And then you can only overlap just a little bit between each layer. So you get a little bit less of a height difference there in those grooves. And then also if you overlap a little more, then you need to go around a lot more and you heighten the grip tape a lot. And if you just do just a little bit of the sides, then you have a lot less grip tape, more to cut off at the end, I think, and then a little thinner handle. I like that a little bit more. And then we just go around, make sure that's stuck on there really, really well. And a lot of pedal players also maybe do a little thicker here around the bottom edge. And then as they progress toward the end of the handle, maybe do a little less rotations, so a little less overlap between each layer. So let's really get that nice and tight, so we get our perfect handle grip. So you got this stickiness at the back all the way across, and you can go all the way to the end of the handle there. And then cut off the end. Let's cut that off here. Okay, so as you can see, you have just a little bit left here. So that's definitely enough for any type of tennis racket handle. Then do the end there. Okay, so now I have a nice grippy, tacky handle. This will really turn out really, really well. And then put on the little tape that you get with it. There's also supposed to be a little sticky part here. Remove that. And this mostly contains the logo. And use that to finish off the end of the racket. And also cut that last part. Okay, so that's holding everything together. Then I have my ring with the Nox logo that I can put around it. So that's really, really nice and sturdy. Have it upside down. That can happen. That Nox right over there. Get that over the handle. Okay, here we go. This is really a really tacky grip here. The Hydrosorb. So I think that would be my recommendation, the head Hydrosorb. If you like that perforated, the Wilson Pro perforated. It's It's really cool. I wouldn't go into that textured one. That might be for you, but I didn't really like it. That's also by Wilson, the textured. That's called the Wilson Profile. That's just not my cup of tea. And then I have, let me put that on straight. So it doesn't take too long to put a new overgrip on your racket. It's all very, very doable. Now I have that on there. And there you have your new racket with the grip tape, everything on there. And then I can also put my grips, my finger grips by Knox on there again. So very cool. I hope this video has helped you make your choice between these and how to put them on. This is really, really easy to do. Just a couple of minutes and you're done. So I'll see you in the next video.